our Amazon ad studio. I'm Dhomonique Murphy. If, like me, you are a huge Cold Case fan, then you'll probably recognize Kathryn Morris. But today she is here to tell us about her new project, the Savants Initiative, which aims to revolutionize how the world is living on and off the spectrum. Kathryn, hi, welcome.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
It is so nice to meet you too. Okay, we have so much to cover today and I'm really excited. So why don't we begin with the basics? What is the Savants Initiative?
Well, the Savants Initiative really began last year. Last year I came to New York and I basically outed myself with my personal story of having twins with autism on the Today Show, and then I premiered with Adweek New York on the culture panel. So it's more than an initiative because it's actually growing into a marketplace and a food and lifestyle brand, the Savants, the Savants.com, the Savants Initiative, meaning we need to move the needle for people that are living on and off the spectrum for life now and for the future.
You talked about it initially, and I think I know the answer, but I want you to develop this a bit more.
Okay.
What was the driving force for you launching this platform?
Well, you know, everything was going great in my life. I was just finishing up Cold Case after 7 years, and I thought, okay, now I'm going to go and try to have a family. I had two beautiful, perfect children, and around 18 months of age, one of my sons just completely disappeared into severe autism. So it was devastating. It was overwhelming. It was very isolating, and suddenly I found myself completely paralyzed. Then his twin brother also began to have symptoms of autism, but his were the other end of the spectrum, very extreme, lots of behavior, seizures, epilepsy, what was going on. So I found myself in a situation where I had a lifestyle change. It was an emergency, so I had to learn how to cook everything from scratch, beyond gluten-free bread, gluten-free, casein-free, sugar-free, dye-free, holistic, homeopathy, keto, everything that I needed to do just to recover some of their symptoms of autism, and then for them to move forward into a happy, fulfilling childhood. And then meanwhile, all the moms are super stressed out. So it became a stress bomb for me. And what I learned in this journey was that there were so many other moms like me. And the moms that helped me were the ones that really got me through. But this information was not available. You can have acceptance and awareness of autism, but that isn't really going to help you in the moment. You need help right now. You need to go somewhere and have a community, connection, love, family. And so what we want to do with the Savants.com and with the Savants Initiative on our platform and in streaming and in the marketplace is have a place where we can actually have those connections. There is no place in the market that is doing this. There are wonderful organizations that give resources, information, but this is beyond that.
So let's develop that a bit more. I'm sure there's parents out there right now watching this interview or who will see it later who are either where you are in their journey with children with autism,
yes,
or maybe they're just starting this journey. And I can only empathize, but unless you're there, you don't know, right? Someone who's actually lived it. So hearing from you directly as someone who has gone through this, and for someone watching this right now going, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I am so overwhelmed. I don't even know what the rest of my life is going to look like. What advice would you have for somebody like that?
Well, first of all, I'm okay. I'm okay, and you're going to be okay. And your children are going to be okay, and we're going to help you get there. The first thing you need is to not feel alone, and that's where we can help you. And then we'd love to give you a really cool marketplace and place and destination where you can come to for community, family, connection, information. Like when they say, well, we'd really like him to do the gluten-free diet, casein-free diet. What is that? Well, it turns out, all of these other wellness businesses and marketplace of keto and holistic yoga and all this, we want to have a destination where you can come right now and get help today. So you are going to be okay. We want you to be able to join us. And also for the children that do grow up, we want them to be able to have an opportunity for a fulfilling job, for a fulfilling life, to be employable. And if you were able to come to be with the Savants, then the other Savants could help you.
I love that. How big is the community?
Of autism?
No.
Oh, I would say.
Of the savants.
Well, we just threw out the net last year, and it's just been hundreds of thousands of people.
Wow.
On a pure statistic level, right now, 1 in 24 children in California are being diagnosed with autism. 1 in 24. When my kids went into general ed kindergarten, 1/3 of the class was on the spectrum. A lot of them were not getting the help that they needed, or it was a little bit behind. So all the moms kept coming to me and saying, what are you doing? What are you feeding? What are you doing? Are you that girl from Cold Case? Like, what, can you help me? Do you know someone? And I thought, I think I'm that person now. I think I'm that person. And also, your life doesn't have to be over. It's a cool site. It's a cool place to get information. It's not the sad, depressing special ed thing. We're bringing it into the mainstream. thesavants.com is Goop for autism. There's something for you, there's something for me, there's something for your mother who doesn't understand that you have a child with autism, because in her generation, you just need to behave and sit there. Now, I already went through this with my parents, but they were so amazing. I was lucky that they went on the journey with me. The grandparents on all the sides, they went on the journey with me. But when you have a destination that is also gonna have something for you and for your sister who has maybe too many comments, or for your employer who really wants to come around you but doesn't know how. So there's really something for everyone. But the statistics are through the roof. Also, I used to be a cool person before the autism, and all of a sudden you go, okay, I'm wearing a lot of sweatpants. Okay, I still like beautiful coffee. I still want to be able to look at something that has nothing to do with autism. And so that's going to be on the site too. So go to our site, savants.com, and also see the initiatives that you can involve yourself on a practical community, local level, and just take care of this community and people that are on and off the spectrum.
I love it. How does it feel to be able to utilize your platform? Obviously, you're a celebrity. You've had a lot of success in your career prior to where you are now, and even where you are now. This is a very successful initiative, and I'm really proud of you. I think that's so incredible.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be able to utilize and leverage your celebrity and your platform to impact so many people?
Thank you so much. There's nothing more beautiful than, I will just call it, getting to Disneyland. For example, we had to blow it at Chuck E. Cheese about 10 times to get to Disneyland. So when we get to Disneyland and we're waiting in line and we're having a wonderful time and we've built up the tolerance, and then someone comes up to me and they see, oh, you're the actress from Cold Case, and they see that I'm dealing with, mainstreaming my children into doing the best roller coaster ever, and they're doing a great job and they're feeling great. It touches in person, and you feel like you've actually been able to make a difference, because number one, I got my kids to Disneyland and they had a good time. They weren't being tortured. But number two, this is a platform that I feel came to me, that the universe, God, whatever, that I am the mother that could handle it. I was the mother with stamina, and I was the mother that actually could make a change for mothers that don't have that voice, that don't have that platform. And I want to be that person for those moms. And the dads, because the dads are amazing too. Let's not leave those dads out.
How does the Savants create opportunities within the community?
For autism, or well, it actually creates opportunities for people in the autism community and the other family members, because there are other siblings that don't have autism. There are parents that need the support and need to learn how to cook something on the diet. And also, these kids grow up. Like I was told that my son Rocco was never going to pretty much do anything. They said he'll probably be institutionalized. Mom, you should probably get some Xanax. He's kind of going to be a sunflower that just sort of stays there and is beautiful, and that's going to be it. Well, because of the support that I had and the medical interventions and all of the therapies that I had from the savants, let's call them the savants, because those people that helped me were the savants. They were the special ones that dug within inside themselves and gave me the gift. They didn't care about my Hollywood career. They came to help me and my children. So when someone raises me up as a mother that way, someone raised my children up, and someone says, your son Rocco is going to go to college. I said, you think so? Yes, and he's also going to drive, because we saw him driving a go-kart, and he knows how to follow the line. So to me, this is how you get those kids into meaningful careers, into a life of independence, as much as you possibly can.
Okay, let's talk about the marketers out there. So obviously we're here at Advertising Week, lots of agencies, lots of marketers. What would be your message for marketers out there when it comes to casting, when it comes to developing campaigns, utilizing individuals who have autism?
That's a great question, because here's the secret is that people in the autism community are really, it's terrible to say, but many of them are living in their mother's basement. They're secret, and no one knows about this community until you know someone, until someone says, if you don't know Naomi, you're not going to make it. Someone said that to me. Well, that person is also a customer. That person is also a person with an emotional need to an advertiser, and the connection and need for products that actually work for them. Why am I bringing gluten-free pancake mix in a Ziploc bag to a 5-star hotel when we're on vacation and saying, would you mind making this, do you have a can of coconut milk? Because I just wanted to see if you could make these pancakes, because I really can't travel with a suitcase full of food. So with marketing and with campaigns and with advertising, there's a whole niche market that actually works for people with celiac disease and people with autoimmune conditions and people that want to find a place to stay that isn't overwhelming. So we invite you to collaborate with us. If it's a hotel, I've had so many hotels approach us and say, we'd love to make something just for people with autism, and you say it's really not that difficult. But why am I up in the middle of the night cutting tags out of t-shirts and finding socks without seams? It should be easier. It should have been easier when I was just figuring out how to get to Target, that I had an ability to just go in and find what I needed.
And Kathryn, you hit on something where you just said, with autism, it's almost like culturally, a lot of people still, even though it's so prevalent in our world, a lot of people are either scared to talk about it, or they don't really know how to speak about it, or I don't know if it's uncomfortable. I mean, everyone's different, right? But you hit on something there. Why do you think there is this reservation, if you will, for people to really speak about it, although it's so prevalent? Like you said, we're looking at close to 1 in 3 children.
Yes, it is so prevalent, and it becomes the family secret. It becomes the secretary at an office, and she just doesn't know how to tell her boss that my son had a difficult day at school and I have to leave work again. And I don't know how to say it, so I'm going to have to say that my other child had an emergency. It's just, it permeates the whole society. But guess what? These children are growing up. We just went to Press Juicery the other day, and the woman that was waiting on us, I said, go ahead to my son's, advocate for yourself, order your acai bowl the way you want it. I said, he'd like to order his bowl. He'd like to advocate for himself. And he goes, no granola, I'm allergic. So the woman, she gets tears in her eyes. She says to me, I know what you're doing. I said, oh, you do? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I'm on the spectrum. And she goes, and this is what my mother did for me. And she says, but nobody knew what my mother was doing for me. And there needs to be more mothers that have that information, that access, because it's just kind of a secret. So it really is over. When people do run into me and they say, oh, what have you been doing? You've been acting. What have you been doing? I say, oh, I have children. I kind of disappeared for a while because both my children ended up going on the spectrum. Everybody has what you just said, the same reaction. I know someone with autism. I met them 20 years ago, and I go, how's that child doing? How are they doing? I don't know. He had a bunch of meltdowns when he was 7, and then I think he lives with my aunt. And I go, how's your mom? I go, how's your aunt doing? I mean, I guess I haven't seen them in a long time, and the truth is though those people need a lot of support, and the numbers are through the roof. Also, there are so many gifts of autism. They are our teachers. I have learned so much about myself and learned so much about my own health, and it's shockingly similar to all of the other food and wellness lifestyle brands, because if we take care of ourselves, we feel better, then we do better.
Kathryn Morris, you are a star.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Thank you so
and to
much.
fill us in on the Savants Initiative, and it's thesavants.com.
thesavants.com, the Savants Initiative. Come to thesavants.com, collaborate with us, get in on the ground floor.
Perfect.
And it feels so good to know that we can move the needle for people on and off the spectrum, and you're part of it.
All right, so check it out.